It took 3 episodes of building up, but winning time finally gets good by episode 4.
Shit, when is my dating life gonna get good, man? It's been much more than 3, man. I think it's closer to 300.
At this point, I've given up on that series. I stopped watching it. It's just there on my list, waiting for me to click the next episode.
It's like you're losing track of the names or victims, depending on who you ask. But anyways, man.
Speaking of victims, let's talk about the victims for the Lakers dynasty. Because clearly the coaches seem to be victimizing the show a lot. Mm-hmm. And look, I haven't posted. I'm not gonna post it anymore. We did a reaction to episode 3. Yeah. And now we're on episode 4. Yep. And I think it worked out that I didn't upload episode 3 because, as Erwin can vouch for, I was trashing the shit out of this show. And I still feel a little bit
Oh, and he was trash too because he was running on 1 hour of sleep.
That's true.
So,
but the show, I criticized the directing style. It's not Adam McKay anymore, and I think he only did the first episode, but it's like Adam McKay's style. Mm-hmm. And those cut scenes, and then I brought up, how publications have put out like a lot of the narratives and fictionalized versions of the show are very fictionalized. Like one thing that really threw me off was we brought up 2 things. We brought the Jerry West thing. Yep. Jerry West wasn't that crazy of a dickhead apparently. Mm-hmm. And then 2, Jeannie Buss was 17 at the time that this show is focused on right now. Mm-hmm. So she wouldn't have been working for the Lakers organization, and she didn't start working for the Lakers organization until early to mid 90s. Mm-hmm. Which is like okay, because a lot of the show revolves around Jeannie. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man. Like, she's not even a part of it. Like, why is she so because now that's a little too fake for me. You know what I mean? I like it a little more. I understand it's gonna be hyperbolized for Hollywood, but still, that's just straight up fake.
But speaking of Hollywood, man, they're getting to the good stuff, saying like, okay, when they're looking like, how are we gonna make the Forum Center that we know in the '80s, the Showtime, playing the
Laker dancers,
the
celebs courtside,
the courtside,
the club
scene. Like, who knows? They were the first ones to do it. Now that it's a little bit more common in the NBA. In the NBA. I know Miami, they have a club that goes on during the games. I think it's called the Hyde, if I'm not mistaken.
I forgot,
whatever, fuck it. It's nowhere near as good as the Forum.
But the dancers things definitely, we don't call them. I don't think most teams or any team in the NBA calls it cheerleaders. Mm-hmm. They're all dancers, like the Heat dancers, stuff like that. So I grew up knowing them as the dancers for when it came to the NBA.
Got you. And I think another reason why things are starting to build up, you know why, Andrade? Is because they're finally now in training camp. So,
basketball is finally involved in a basketball show. Yes, it is about that. And I think I said this last time, I think it'll start building up once basketball gets involved. Because before episode 4, it was like all this building up of of narrative storylines for the characters, but it's just like it wasn't that good. I'm gonna be honest. And for an HBO show, that's kind of disappointing because HBO writers tend to be very, very good at this. Mm-hmm. But I don't know what's missing with this. And we finally got some the basketball scenes were dope.
We got some Bad Blood.
We got some animated scenes. Yeah, Bad Blood, practice footage.
That scene with Michael Cooper, he did that pick, and then again he got into a fight with Magic Johnson.
And, they didn't call the pick for you, Rook. And I love how they really emphasize the difference between the vets and the rooks and how it's seen in pro basketball, because that's a real thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. And obviously it's exaggerated there, or maybe it was different in the '80s. But a lot of rookies always a lot of players talk about the rookie years. They were like pledges for certain vets and especially stars.
That's a good comparison.
Yeah, and it's a great way to build relationships. And we see that already with Kareem and Magic and that juice, that orange juice story. That was funny.
But you saw already, Magic. He's not your typical rookie. He's not your typical player. He did that thing with Kareem. He put his foot right there, literally on the glass door. He's like, "Yo, man, I just want you to fucking try to
up for himself,
to try to sip." And then Kareem, being an asshole like how he is, he's like, okay, this is not bad, but you still didn't give me the right newspaper.
Yeah. And then also Magic standing out when in the locker room, he's the one that's like, yo, I'll step up and talk about the coach.
Not only that as well, but in the practice as well, when I think with Michael Cooper as well, he's like, yo, I might be a rook, but I'm not a bitch. When he's trying to be there, that fist fight.
And another thing I like is how they're focusing a lot on McKinney and how he set up the Showtime Lakers offense and style of play. And they talk about that after the show in the little post-show thing, which that also was my favorite one so far, because it was the first time where we actually get we've gotten them before, but just the actors involved and talking more about the show instead of like the sport or the Lakers, whatever. Like they strictly talked about the show. And we had Jason Segel. Shout out to How I Met Your Mother fan. Shout out to not Get Him to the Greek. What's Sarah Marshall fans, and then of course damn, I'm blanking on her name, but the lady that plays what do you call the accountant? What's her position? Yeah. Who's like setting up the whole forum.
Not the mom of Jerry Buss. It's like the accountant that actually works for the Lakers. Yeah. That one.
And they addressed it. I love how McKay talks about. I think it was McKay talks about like everybody always thinks about Pat Riley with the Showtime Lakers, which makes sense.
I do want to bring up, I got that wrong. I thought when Jerry West, he resigned, I'm thinking like, yo, Pat Riley about to come in and do his thing. No, I'm not. I'm wrong.
And somebody in the comments even said that in one of our recaps. And that's what McKay touched upon. He's like, everybody's always thinking it was just Pat Riley. Or like Pat Riley was the one that started on. He's like, no, there were two coaches involved that set up this style of offense, set up the style of play, and then it just grew from there. And I really like how he's focusing on spotlighting that, because that's important for historical context. It's very important, and for historical preservation. Yeah. And again, another thing I do like is how they're building up Pat Riley though. Like you still see bits of Pat Riley. You saw him a lot in the last episode. He was the focus of it. And here you get the little bits of like little jokes, inside jokes for viewers. Like, oh, I'm just the assistant coach and the travel secretary, and just like little things like that. He's the one that ends up bumping Jerry West's head on the door, and I really like how they're just like, okay, you'll still get a little bit of Pat here and there, but I love that Jason's in the show. I did not know he was gonna be in the show, and I was like, oh shit, How I Met Your Mother, let's go. I was telling her like, yo, you ever seen this? She's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, get the fuck out.
It's like, you uncut your swine. But okay, things are looking good, man.
Yeah, it's starting to finally pick up. I'm sorry you guys didn't see me lashing the fucking, because I literally I went in. That's recap.
That's why you don't want to be like Andrade. You gotta have some patience. All right,
that's true.
The season is not 4 episodes.
No, of course, and I always say that. It's funny. But it's not even just that. I still have my gripes with the show. I mean, I said as soon as the show ended, I told everyone, I was like,
cancel the show.
I was like, why'd you recommend me this show, bro? Even though he didn't.
It's great,
but it's basketball content.
It's basketball content.
I just still think it could be a little more polished. I feel like with different directors, I'm not gonna lie, I think it could even be slightly better. But it is getting better.
So HBO, if you're watching this, so you know somebody that works for HBO, Andrade over here,
executive producer, TV show consultant.
You could be a consultant.
Let me know.
You don't have to pay him anything, man. He just wants his voice.
Whoa! I just want my name on
there. Yeah, just his name. Right? That's it.
At the end credits.
Yeah, it's like
my name and Ball Talk Deep.
That's it. You put the @, so like on the social media handles. But guys,
Talk Deep Productions.
Yeah, for real, guys. Let us know what you guys think, man. How are you guys feeling about this series right now on episode 4? Do you like it? You love it?
Now that basketball is involved, like legitimate basketball play, do you enjoy it more? Because now I'm tuned in, and I feel like the show is not just better because basketball is involved, but I think basketball being involved in the show gives the writers, I don't know, better room for opportunity to execute the show and develop it, because it just came off better.
But I'll say this again. This will be much more better. I think we'll have a lot more people engaged if the Los Angeles Lakers are doing better this year. The fact that they're doing ass this year is not helping out.
That's true, and I feel like if Will Ferrell was in the show instead of John C. Reilly, I don't know. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I get you. I guess. But anyways,
I'm just talking shit right now.
Let us know in the comments what you guys think. Either way, appreciate all the love and the hate.
We'll cover Final Four soon.
Yep, you already know. North Carolina versus Duke. What?
Hey, remember I told you Duke's gonna win it all this year. Didn't I tell you?
Have they won it all?
They're going to.
We'll see.
In the Final Four for Coach K. Coach K.
We'll see about that.
Also, I foresee the Lakers winning a couple championships in the show. I don't know.
Yeah, what are the lottery numbers? Can you tell me that?
No, I said in the show.
No shit. All right. Anyways, catch us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all podcast streaming platforms, and Instagram. We'll catch you guys soon. For now, later.